RamiX back in a video, and today's video, as the title suggests, is What If Naruto Was a Titan? Part 1. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as today we have a new goal for the channel. At least I do anyway. 20,000 subscribers by April. With that being said, I hope for you, if you are a new viewer, to stick around and watch some of my other videos, as that would be appreciated. But with that, we can begin a new timeline, which is known as What If Naruto Was a Titan? We now take a look into the future, as Naruto now stood pressed up against a stone, with blood all around it. It was Naruto's own blood. In front of him was Sasuke, as Naruto would tell Sasuke that he's going to do something, but he can't get scared. We know this thing as transforming into a Titan. For all of you curious, Naruto does possess the founding Titan, the same as Eren Yeager. With that being said, Naruto would now explain the life he had before this moment. For context, Naruto is currently 14 years old, and he and Sasuke are a duo unlike any other in the Leafs' history. Unfortunately for them, their A-rank mission turned into an S-rank mission, and it was deadly. Naruto would then look back into his past, as how we're going to do the story is Naruto basically explaining the backstory of this whole what if, and then we jump to current time where Naruto is wounded on the battlefield, with Sasuke in front of him. And with that, this what if can truly begin. People with considerable skill rivaling Jonin, and in some cases Kage. Naruto would be taught chakra control. This was something vital for his progression, as both an heir to the throne and as the next wielder of the founding Titan. They say that to inherit the founding Titan, you lose a lot of chakra. And if Naruto didn't have a lot of chakra, then he would die. And there is nothing worse than losing an heir to the throne. Now, with that being said, it is also a little taboo to have an heir die. So, it would be very shameful for the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans, respectively, if they lost Naruto. Naruto would then be taught chakra natures. The chakra nature that he adapted to is wind, though due to his other origins, he was able to access both fire, wind, earth, and lightning. He was weakest in earth, only being able to release an earth mud wall, with barely any defense at all. But besides that, within the other chakra natures, he was a beast. And many would start to call him Prodigal Naruto. With that, many cheered at his arrival, no matter where he went or where he decided to go. No matter what he did or how he decided to do it. As time went on, Naruto only got stronger. And when he turned 4 years old, he was rivaling many Jonin within the village. This is when he would have to learn to control the Nine Tails. Alfred was a very well-trained seal master, in fact. So, with that, he decided to take on the task. Alfred would train Naruto first in meditation. If he were to ever even contact the Nine Tails, he would have to have a calm mind. That's what Alfred thought, at least. So, he would make Naruto have a calm mind. He would instill into him meditation. Never mind the many other techniques that came with it. A clear mind was something that Alfred really valued in a boy. So, Naruto now had a clear mind. He was now a master at the art of meditation, and he truly did enjoy it. It helped him free his mind, and it helped him with life in a way. With that being said, Naruto now needed a strong enough body. What if the Nine Tails tried to attack Naruto within his subconscious? This could cause mental stress, and maybe even physical damage. Alfred was clueless to the fact that the seal was tight, and too tight, in fact, to allow for Naruto to be able to be hurt by the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails' words were the only things that could affect Naruto at this point in time. So, Naruto would learn what he had to defend against the Nine Tails. With the Uzumaki clan, a clan which stands at the same very level as the Namikaze clan, being defined for their, in most cases, either red or white/blonde hair. Some have brown hair, but that is only due to the fact that they have inbreeded with the great Senju clan. Now, with that being said, that's about it for discussing features of some of the noble clans. Now, we skip back to the story. Naruto was now in the lap of the queen, while the queen was in her own domain / room. She looked down on the baby, or baby Naruto in other words, as she would rub his head and hair. You're going to be the one to inherit the founding titan next. Understand? Naruto would giggle, as the queen would smile. Well, since I haven't introduced myself to you yet, my name. I am Queen Carmilla. And you? You're Naruto Uzumaki, my grandson. Or, not my grandson. You're my... Queen, there's an urgency. Someone would come knocking. The queen would quickly turn to the man. As she would raise her hand, the man would suddenly stop, asking, what was it? You see, within the royal capital, raising your hand is a way to interrupt somebody politely, rather than saying, excuse me, though you still have people who say, excuse me. It is very common. The queen would then ask, if this boy is my brother's son, what does that make me to him? It means you're his aunt. Now get going. I guess that makes me your aunt, Naruto. Now stay here and be a good boy, okay? The queen would then immediately rush to the side of the man as she would ask, what's wrong? The queen would then hear the words, that baby already has the Nine Tails. The Queen Carmilla would fall on her knees at the sudden hearing of this news, as she wondered what she would do. This baby, my nephew Naruto, already has the Nine Tails. No way. Never mind the fact that he is an Uzumaki and a Namikaze. His power would be unstoppable if we were to give him a titan. The queen would then look back at Naruto. The only reason this was such a big deal was because, as you may have interpreted from the dialogue between the queen and this man, who, to further restate, is known as Alfred, though you didn't know that. The problem is, if we were to now give, or I guess the royal capital, were to now give the boy Naruto, who already is in Uzumaki and Namikaze, as well as has the Nine Tails, a beast just as ferocious as the Titans, then that would only mean that Naruto would become an unstoppable creature, a thing even. That is what the royal capital members feared, that one day they would lose control of the Titan within the royal bloodline. Naruto could do nothing but cry. He was merely a baby. With that, a few more years would pass, and the queen would stick by what she thought on that day. It doesn't matter if he becomes an unstoppable beast. It doesn't matter if he does something we don't want him to do. Naruto Uzumaki, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, the heir to the throne. He will wield the Founding Titan. So, with that, Naruto would be trained from as early as the age of 3 by Alfred and many other people. A blonde-haired baby continued to cry, and cry. A man no older than 54 would walk towards the baby. He would then pick up the baby as he smiled at it, looking into its dim-lit eyes, one sparkling with tears. "My name is Alfred," he would say, as Naruto would stop crying. Alfred then took Naruto to a much more calmer place, a much more safer place, in fact. This place was known as the royal capital. Naruto now stood in a room where 10 others were. One would speak up. He is only a boy, but to continue the line of the royal family, he will be much more than a single baby. "Do you understand how important this baby is?" another one would say. "He is the might and joy, never mind the pride of our village." "Our village? Brother, it's the capital." "Do you understand what this baby means?" another would say, as many others continued to talk about Naruto and his importance. A woman would walk into the room. She was no older than 23. She would then say, "Is this the one who's going to inherit the Founding Titan?" "Yes, it is." "I see. Are we to have him become a Titan now?" "The last time a baby became a Titan, there was no baby left." "I see. So what would you like us to do then?" "Well, you're the queen. Figure it out." Always looking to your queen. I suppose that's what a queen's for. I say that we wait until the boy is about 10 or 12 years old, maybe younger. At this point, we would already have a candidate for the Founding Titan. Of course, nobody's willingly going to become a Titan unless we give them something in exchange. No matter who it is, it could be some lowly civilian, refugee, or anybody, really. But at the end of the day, we will turn them into the Founding Titan. And Naruto will eat them, in turn gaining the Founding Titan's powers, after we inject him with the Titan serum. I see. I'm not too opposed to that, my queen. Well, I'm glad. Now, with that being said, I'll take my leave. With the baby. You want to take the baby? I'm going to adopt it. It's as if I'm being carried by my brother's will. An older man in the room would speak up as he would yell, "Do not talk about Minato's name in vain, nor his wife, Kushina." This man had red hair as well, sporting a similar look to Kushina herself, so it had seemed that they are relatives. With that, the queen would then excuse herself. "I am the queen of this nation. I'll be leaving immediately and taking this boy. Minato already told me his name, for all of you wondering. It's Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki." I see." The queen would then leave, as she would go back to her own palace. Let's explain a little bit of the geography in the Leaf Village. or this current Leaf Village, as this Leaf Village is nowhere near what you would imagine, or at least nowhere near what the old Leaf Village, or the original Leaf Village, I suppose, looks like. Basically, surrounding the royal capital is the Leaf Village, okay? I think that is easy enough to understand. And now I'll continue. Now, within the royal capital, there lives approximately 3,000 people. These people are all connected or descendants of the royal bloodline. Now, how many royal families are there? As there isn't only one. Naruto's royal family, slash the queens, Minato's, and by extension Kushina's, is the main royal family. They are bred from the Namikaze and Uzumaki, and they hold the most power within both the Leaf and the royal capital. With that, the other royal families include the Uchiha clan, boasting the second most power, the Sarutobi clan, boasting the third most power, and the Hyuga clan, harboring the fourth and final most power. After that, there are multiple sub-royal families, which only come close to being in the royal family due to inbreeding with other royal families. The royal capital realized that they would have to stop any other inbreeding into multiple other clans, as it would mean that more royal families would pop up, and that would create a power struggle that they don't want. But for the sake of discussion, and for you, the viewer, to understand, the noble clans of Konoha that we all know, so for example, Aburame, Akamichi, Nara, Uchiha, Uzumaki, Namikaze, etc., Yamanaka, that kind of thing. They are all a part of the royal bloodline, with the Aburames coming in at the least close. And of the sub-royal families, the Yamanaka come in at the closest, having a very strong connection to the Namikaze clan. Now, let's describe the Namikazes for you. Namikazes are known for their starking blue eyes, and in most cases, their definitive blonde hair. As a precaution, Alfred would continue to train Naruto for 4 more years, both with mental training and physical training. At this point, Naruto had succeeded the expectations of all of the royal members. This had forced the Hyuga and Uchiha clans into a meeting. This meeting was to discuss their own prodigal members, the people who would rise up with Naruto and would be the forefront of the next generation. The main leader of the Uchiha clan, Fugaku Uchiha, would talk about his 2 children, Itachi and Sasuke. Fugaku would then continue. My son Sasuke, he is lacking in some things, but he is on a steady path to becoming something close to Itachi. And Itachi? What about him? Well, he is on a path that may even succeed my own. Even with your, yes, even with my Mangekyo Sharingan. I see. What about you, Hiyashi? In this timeline, Hiyashi is the main leader of the Hyuga clan. Well, my son Neji, he is very powerful. And even though he's not a part of the main branch, he has skills succeeding it. What? Really? How interesting, buddy. Please, refrain from calling me that within a meeting like this. The Yamanaka clan members will then speak. Well, as you know, my daughter, Ino, is very skilled with the mind transfer jutsu for her young age. And, like always, I've taught her proper mental training. Never mind the fact that she's as skilled as a proper assassin. All of them would clap. Well done. Ino will be a fine woman. especially in the art of combat. With that, they would look at the Nara clan, as they would start to speak about their prodigal ninja, Shikamaru. My son, he is very lazy, just like I was, and, well, in a way, still am. But even so, trust me, he's got it within him to succeed even I. What about you, Akamichi? Oh, my son Choji, he scarfs down food like it's his only goal. So, I don't know. I think he'll be just fine. He's already started to show progress. I see. Well, I hope the very best luck to the Akamichi clan, Fugaku would say. Fugaku was the leader of the meeting. They would then all ask why they just, well, were called to the meeting, as Fugaku would explain. You see, the Uzumaki Namikaze and in a way the Senju have a prodigy of their own, which surpasses the combined might of our prodigies. How old is he? You haven't heard of him? Naruto? All of them would pause. You mean the kid who's 8 years old and is already rivaling Jonin and Kage? Yeah, that's him. Jeez, he's a monster, isn't he? You can say that again. Well, I believe that Ino will be the next person to inherit. Inherit what? The female Titan. I see. What about the Warhammer? Have any of you decided? Well, whenever we get it back into our hands, it might just be the job for him. You mean the Akamichis? Yeah. Well, that would work. And the jaw, does any of you have an idea? Well, if the Akamichi don't get the Warhammer, the jaw's right up their alley, is it not? Yeah, I guess. Well, besides that we have a clear inheritor of the What's happening? Fugaku thought to himself. Somebody's trying to call me within my mind. Answer it then. Oh, it's the Queen. She's saying that Naruto has entered his subconscious and has been able to talk to the Ninetales. This changes everything. If he has the ability to talk to the Ninetales and, in turn, gain its power, this would mean that we'll have to train our children much more than anticipated. I see. If all of our prodigal children cannot subdue Naruto by the time that he's 10, then they will be forced to inherit the Titans much earlier than anticipated. Fine, Ino-jin would say. As the meeting would finish, Fugaku would then stand. No matter what, we will regain all the Titans that the other villages stole. As for the tailed beast, we don't mind balance, but we will take what is left of them. Of course, the other ninja in the room would say, as Fugaku would exit. Training would immediately start up again for his boys. Itachi was now being trained by Fugaku himself, and Sasuke by Shisui Uchiha, one of the most prodigal ninja the Uchiha clan had ever seen, and one of the only Uchiha to unlock the Mangekyo. Let's talk a little bit about the nations as a whole. Currently, in this timeline, war is a constant, and they are currently, as surprising as it may sound, in the 6th Great Ninja War. Many casualties have been suffered in this timeline, as they are not only fighting for the Jinchuriki, but also the Titans. You see, the Titans are top priority for them, as well as the Jinchurikis. So many more have died, but there are also many more people in its timeline. Now, with that being said, we now skip 2 years into the future. Naruto is now 10 years old, as a meeting would be called by Fugaku once more. They say that Naruto has been able to tap into some of the Nine Tails' chakra, about 4 of its tails, and that's without losing control. I've heard from Carmilla, the queen herself, that he can go up to the 7th tail. But it took most of her might within her first form to subdue him. I see. It took Carmilla that much power. It's been a long time since she's had to go into the second form. Not to jinx it or anything, but how awesome would that be? You cease to amaze me, Hiyashi. You're like a little boy in a man's body. Now don't degrade me to that, Fugaku. I can drink like a man, talk like a man, and I sure as hell can beat someone up like a man. Whatever. I suppose excitement is just a part of being a human. Anyway, I have a question. Yeah, go on. Do you think that your Ino-chan, can defeat Naruto? Hell no. Seeing that boy train, without a doubt, Ino would die. Way to put it blunt. Well, if you were to put a percentage of her power and compare it to Naruto, what would that percentage be? If she's lucky, 20. That's not too bad. What about her twin brother? Inosuke. Well, Inosuke's progressing much better than Ino, which is not expected. Usually the females of our clan are stronger. But I guess he takes after his father, so. He, compared to Naruto, maybe about the same. Well, what about you guys, Akamichis? Well, as you know, Choji has been progressing very well. He probably only stacks about 20% as well. If not even. Maybe 19. I see. And for the Uchihas, Itachi and Sasuke combined could maybe take on 50% of him. Maybe more. Maybe 70. But that's mainly Itachi. And as you know, Itachi's not necessarily a part of the same generation as Naruto. So it means nothing if he can tangle with him. As for Sasuke, 15% at best. And with his Sharingan, that is with his Sharingan, which he still doesn't have. Shisui has said that he's tapped into the 3 Tomoe once before in training, but that's not enough, don't you think? He needs to be able to at least hold the 1 Tomoe before we even consider him fighting Naruto. You're right. Well, what does that leave? Put simply, it leaves about, give or take, 25%. Well, I know my boy Shino is worth about 30% of Naruto. Guaranteed. Let's do the math. All of us have children, and we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Besides me. So, let's tack off 5%. As a whole. And what about you, Hyugas? Well, with the combined might of Hinata and Neji, our prodigies. And Hanabi, of course. 30%. Good, but not good enough. That means if we took Sasuke, never mind the fact if we included you guys, Inosukas, and included Kiba, which we'll assume is 15 to 20%. Sasuke, like I mentioned before, if he were able to tap into his Sharingan, would be quite helpful, maybe put him at 20%. So, even with Sasuke, Kiba, Inosuke, Choji, Hinata, Himawari, and Nabi. It felt as if I got a premonition just now. It was very quick, but I believe in the future there will be a Hyuga known as Himawari. Anyway, Hanabi, Hinata, Neji, and the rest of you, even Shikamaru. And you would only be able to take on Naruto without using the Nine Tails power. With is a different story, I'd assume. Yeah, I didn't know that you were taking With into account. Well, if we do take With the Nine Tails power into account, our children all together, if we assume they each take up 20% of him, even without father and mother's benefit of the doubt, it's only equal to Naruto's current power. I see. That's a shame. Is that only with the 4 tails or 7 tails as well? With the 4 tails. This meeting is over. Our children will all be fighting Naruto. I see. Well, I'm not too opposed to that idea, Inojin would say. But we'll have to put a seal on Naruto's 9 tails chakra, or I don't want to do it. Fine. I can agree to that. As for the founding titan being put into Naruto's hands, let's do that after the battle. Fine. It will also give us an idea of how powerful he is. Alright. Let us begin. The next day, Naruto would fight the clans / the royal members' prodigies. And this is where we will end it, as far as the story goes. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And with that, Rami X.